Everybody, and welcome to Q&A Wednesday, where I answer the questions that you have about your health and fitness goals. Now, this one's not going to be super long because I am hiding in my studio and it is warm, but there's just too much going on in the house. So we're just going to stay out here really quick, but we're going to have a great quick topic about how to burn fat. And it's probably not going to be exactly what you think it's going to be because, of course, I'm always going to talk a little bit about how the biology works. I'm going to keep it super simple. I'm not going to bore you with like, this is how this works, but I am going to give you some quick tips on how to make that happen, because I think one of the biggest fallacies is, number one, well, we need to lose weight. I'm like, oh, okay, let's talk about this again. You know, you can lose weight, but if it's muscle and water, then what exactly is the point? I don't know about you, but I want to fit a smaller size of clothing. I want to burn fat. There's a big difference between that. You can't, when you lose weight, you don't necessarily know where that's coming from. And whether or not that's a healthy option, if you're burning off your muscle, you're kind of, you know, that's what gives you shape. So part of that is making sure that you're doing the right things to burn the right things. And you can't guarantee that just by a 500 calorie deficit every day that you're going to burn 1 pound of fat a week. You can't guarantee that it comes from fat if you're not paying attention to a few things. So we're gonna talk really quickly about that, making sure that you're talking about the right thing. It's important that you are targeting body fat because that is excess storage, right? And it's unfortunate, if you guys remember, especially I do, because of course, you know, the 90s was kind of big on that, but they really kept talking about that fat makes you fat. If that dietary fat equals adipose tissue, and that is not true. There's some very specific things that have to happen in order for fat to be stored as fat. What is happening is most of the time it comes down to your storage hormone, or it is a grow hormone, but it is a storage hormone. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that and how that applies to the situation, because again, it's not just cutting the amount of calories that you eat. The different macronutrients do different things within your system, and that's not even all of that. You have to make sure that those are quality things that you're eating, quality ingredients. So the one thing that I want to talk a little bit about, because I just heard this again I was listening to Dr. Eric Berg. He's got a really good take on this. He talks a lot about, insulin and how the body works, because of course insulin's the hormone we're talking about. But the one thing that he mentioned that I've said before is that you don't lose weight to get healthy. You get healthy, and then losing weight is a byproduct of it. So again, if you're trying to look better, feel better, feel more comfortable in your skin, and it's not even, listen, ladies, this is nothing about fat shaming. This is been there, done that. I've already been on the big end of the spectrum. It has nothing to do with making people feel bad about their bodies. You need to respect your body. It works hard for you. Even if you're not happy with where you're at, you do have to respect it. But to say that people that are overweight and obese are healthy, that's a whole other story that I'm not going to buy into, because of course, when you have excess body fat storage, there's obviously an issue going on there, and that has a lot more to do with inflammation and disease that is going to come about because of that. So again, I'm really a little frustrated. I get it. We don't need to shame people for where they're at, but we also don't need to tout that, we need to accept everybody where they're at right now and call that healthy, because that's not okay. So it's about you being the best you can possibly be, working with your genetics, because they're going to play a role, working with your age, because that's also going to play a role. But there are things you can do, and there's some pretty basic things that can happen or that you can do, whether or not you have the genetics for it, that's still going to help you be a healthier person, to feel better, and to help avoid some of that disease, right? So the first thing I want to talk about is that in order for you to burn fat, you have to stop contributing to what's causing you to gain fat, okay? To actually store things as in your adipose tissue. And I know you don't want to hear it, but there are 3 things that are your body cannot burn fat in the presence of these 3 things. Number 1, insulin. So again, insulin is a storage hormone. It cannot, your fat burning hormones cannot initiate when your insulin is in the way, right? When it's doing its thing. So if you are eating too many carbohydrates, especially simple carbohydrates, I'm just gonna take a step back and say, look, stop eating garbage. That's part of the issue. Your body needs nutrients, not just calories. And when you're not providing what it needs, and it's dealing with the amount of sugar that you're putting in your system. And again, I get people all the time, they're like, well, I don't eat sugar. I'm like, bread is sugar. Like, it's sugar. So again, it's a processed carbohydrate that turns to sugar in your system. So, and I'm sweating like a crazy person in here. It's very, very warm. So again, I should have moved outside, but so you've got to stop. If you cannot burn body fat in the presence of insulin. So if you're eating too many carbohydrates, and really listen, your body doesn't know the difference between a natural sugar and a processed sugar. It's still deals with it with insulin. So you have to, again, there's obviously some products are better than others. And natural sugar, say in fruit, is going to be a big difference because it has vitamins, minerals, and fiber, which will slow down the absorption rate of the sugars into your bloodstream. But if you eat too much of it, or if that's all you're eating at the time, again, now you're going to have an issue. Or if you are genetically predisposed to metabolic issues like diabetes, again, listen, diabetes is preventable. Like, it's phenomenal how many people tell me, well, it's in my family. No, the predisposition is in your family. You are genetically predisposed to having diabetes, even at a younger age, and without doing all the damage because of your genetics. But it's just like having light switches, right? If you don't do the things that turn the light switch on, you will not have the problem. I get frustrated because people are telling me, no, it's a chronic issue that I can't get rid of. Like, if you haven't done too much damage, you actually can reverse a lot of that too. But you have to know what that's involved with. So, party in my house. So, hi. Okay. So let's talk about that. So if you are eating, listen, if you provide your body with all the energy that it needs through carbohydrates, why would your body burn fat as fuel? So if you're eating carbohydrates at every meal and you're eating simple sugars and you're eating a lot of it, you're going to have a problem. Your body has no reason to tap into your fat stores because you're providing the energy that it needs. That's what carbohydrates do. They are an energy source. Now, again, they're not all created the same. Vegetables are not the same as a Pop-Tart. Look, you can see the shine. It's that shiny. It's very, very warm in here. All right. The other thing that your body cannot burn fat in the presence of is cortisol. So if you are stressed out at all times, even just a little bit of stress, it shuts down all your fat burning options in your body, right? Because it's fight or flight. So it doesn't, first of all, nothing works efficiently at that point because your body is ready to just up and run. It doesn't know that you're just stressed out because your boss is a jerk. It's just going, well, she's stressed out, I got to be ready to run. And so that's part of the issue, is that if you're always stressed out, and of course in this day and age, good grief, there's so much stress and so many things that can happen in that direction. So keep that in mind. So cortisol, if you're stressed all the time. And of course the other one's alcohol. That one should be pretty, you should already know that. That's a pretty simple issue, that if your body is dealing with intoxication, right? It's toxic. Your body has to deal with that first. Your metabolism has to deal with the alcohol. So while it may not itself cause fat, which again, we could start talking about fatty liver disease, but that's a topic for a different day. But it prevents your body from burning fat. So again, in the presence of those three things, your body will not burn fat. So if your hormones are off for any reason, if you're not providing what your body needs in order to produce those hormones or the enzymes or the things that your body needs, you can't burn fat. Because most people focus on calories because that's what we've been taught, right? Coca-Cola says all calories matter, so you got to pay attention to just calories. Yeah, that's their way of trying to get your attention off what's the real issue. So again, keep that in mind, that you've got to make sure that you're paying attention to not just the calories, but what the percentage of macros are, and that they are quality macros, not processed garbage. Because again, there's a reason they call it empty calories. So again, calories versus hormones. Again, hormones play a huge role, and we're not talking necessarily about your sex hormones. They do play a role, but there's also, hormones are just the way your body talks to itself within its system. It's information system. So if the information is not getting where it needs to go, your body's not going to have the results that you're looking for. Now, let's really quickly, I do want to talk really quickly about exercise, because again, I'm sweating to death here. I need a fan. Let's talk really quickly. First of all, just know that you cannot out-exercise a bad diet. So, again, there's a lot of variables there. Your genetics, your age, your gender, all those are going to play a role in that. But if you are eating garbage, listen, even if you eat really, really great during the week, but then you eat garbage all weekend, you're kind of undoing everything you did during the week. And so what's going to happen is overall, you're going to balance out. Now, I'm not saying you can't have the things that you love. You just have to do better more than you're not doing better. And so that you can have the results that you want. Strength training and cardio do different things. So a lot of people think, well, I'll just do more cardio. Again, first of all, you cannot outdo the bad things that you're eating, the garbage that's not getting you closer to it's not really bad. It's just, is it getting you closer to your goal or taking you away from your goal? That's what you have to look at it as. But if you're starting out with too much cardio, your body gets really good at it really fast, really efficient. So it's not going to burn as many calories. So don't start out doing an hour a day. You have nowhere to go. The balance you need to find is the right amount of food and nutrition for you, the right amount of exercise, strength training too, because of course you want muscle actually helps you burn more calories. Then you want to make sure you're getting enough sleep. You want to make sure your head's in the right space. There's more to it than just killing it in cardio and then not focusing on anything else. But also remember too that different body types, different genetics, they're all going to be affected differently by that. So some people respond really, really well to cardio and some people don't. For anyone who tends to be gaining fat around the midsection, you're probably going to have better luck with your nutrition versus cardio. Now, those of us that tend to gain it in the legs, probably going to have a little more better luck with some cardio. So again, there's a lot to it. But if you're paying attention to each thing and putting a little bit of effort into seeing how making small changes, making better choices in each of those areas, you're going to get way better results exponentially, right? So really the two things I want to mention when it comes to nutrition is there is no one right way. There's no one right diet, blah, blah, blah. Really, it comes down to, can you do the things that work for you consistently? And is it sustainable? So if you go on this crazy, like, I'm going to do keto, can you do it for the rest of your life? Because whatever gets you to reaching your goal, you have to keep doing to then maintain your goal. So keep in mind that if it's not something you can do forever, it's probably not the right option for you in the first place. So a couple of tips when it comes to fat burning. Hopefully that kind of gives you the basics, but I do want to make sure that I usually tell my people, don't eat too close to bedtime. You do need to make sure that you have time for your body to do what it needs to do, which is digest and rest and recover. So when it comes to sleeping and the things that it has to do, if you eat too late in the day, your body is not going to do either one efficiently. It can't really digest and try to rest and recover and memory storage and all the things it needs to do. So you're best off to get done and allow your body to digest 90 minutes, 2 hours before you go to bed so that it can do both efficiently. And you're going to big time benefit from both of those. But the other thing too is you don't want to graze all day. People who don't give their body a little bit of a break between meals find that your body can't, it's kind of like it needs to sweep out the cobwebs in between each thing. It needs to get rid of everything so that it can reset, start over, and do what it needs to do efficiently. But if we're running our digestive all day long and we're eating carbs all day long, you're not giving your body time to burn fat. So that is a big portion of it, and making sure that I caught everything. If you guys have questions about this, again, it's too hot to stay in my studio. It's just too hot. Please either drop a comment down below with your question. You can also directly message me at any of my platforms. Facebook is usually the easiest one. Be sure to hop on to my YouTube channel because you can see all my back episodes. Make sure you subscribe and click the notification button so when everything gets uploaded from here, because they do disappear now on Facebook. They disappear after 30 days. So you'll have to go to my YouTube channel to see all my backlogs of all these lovely videos that we do. You can also jump onto my new platform on Patreon. I will try to remember to put the link down below. If you need a good, decent, quick, to the point, I'm not even gonna call it a crash course because that's not what it is, but on health and nutrition, I'm adding content every week. We've got Nutrition 101, now Nutrition 102 is going up, along with we're gonna start adding some psychology of weight loss, but let's just call it health, right? So those are all going up. It's only $5 a month. If you're not ready to commit to using a coach, it's a great option to educate yourself. So too hot in here. I'm gonna get out of here now. Have an incredible week, you guys. Stay cool, and hopefully you're having an incredible summer. Stay healthy, my friends.